The key moved itself. The journal wrote about my life. And now, my walls, they're watching me. I never thought a house I'd lived in for over a decade could still surprise me. But here I am, standing in my living room, staring at a bookshelf that's somehow different. I guess I should have noticed it before, the way that it didn't quite match the others, or how the corner of it seemed off, almost like it was slightly deep in the wall itself. But I didn't. Not until last week, when I accidentally nudged it while trying to reach a book on the top shelf, and it moved. Just a fraction at first. Then the next day, I pushed a little harder, and it swung open like a door I didn't even know existed. Inside, there was darkness. Pitch black, like someone had sucked the light right out of that corner of the room. I didn't have a flashlight on me, so I grabbed my phone, fumbling to turn on the flashlight app, while my hands shook more than I wanted them to. The smell hit me first. Old wood, dust, and something else, musty metallic, almost like rust mixed with soil. It was weirdly alive in a way, like the room had been breathing while I wasn't looking. I stepped inside, careful, because the floorboards creaked under my weight, and I immediately noticed the size. It was smaller than a regular room, maybe 12 by 10 feet, but tall enough that I could stand. Against the far wall, a desk was tucked into the corner, and on it lay papers. Not scattered like someone had been rummaging, but neatly stacked, as if someone had planned to come back. I almost didn't touch them, afraid that disturbing even a single sheet would set something off. But curiosity, God, the curiosity won. The papers were old, yellowed, with handwriting I didn't recognize. I sat on the floor, leaning against the wall, and flipped through them. Notes about, I'm not even sure. Plans? Observations? One page had what looked like a diary entry dated from the 1930s. They mustn't know. If they find this, everything changes. I felt a chill. Who was A? Why was this room hidden in my house? I started inspecting the walls, running my fingers over the wood paneling. There were scratches, shallow ones, like fingernails near the corners. Then a faint outline of something rectangular. Maybe another hidden compartment? Maybe a safe? My heart started racing. I wanted to scream, call someone, but I also felt like I wasn't supposed to, like the room was meant for discovery, but not for sharing. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I would sit in the living room, pretending to read, but my eyes kept drifting toward the bookshelf door. I went through my old house plans. Nothing indicated this room existed. The more I read the papers, the more I realized I had no clue who built it. My house is old, built in the 1920s, and I'm the fourth owner. None of the previous owners had mentioned anything, at least not that I could find online or through neighbors. I started keeping a notebook. Every little observation, every scrap of handwriting, everything I found strange. There were numbers, codes, drawings that made no sense at first. A floor plan, maybe, but incomplete. And some drawings of, I don't even know, mechanisms? Levers, pulleys, locks. I swear I caught myself staring at the ceiling in that hidden room, imagining a hidden trapdoor opening above me. I don't know why I pictured it like that. Probably too many movies. But then I found something I couldn't ignore. A small leather-bound book, hidden under the desk. No title, no markings, just thick, almost fragile pages. I opened it, and the first thing I read made my stomach drop. If you are reading this, then you are meant to know, do not trust anyone outside this house. My hands froze over the page. I wanted to put it down. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I had found it. I had entered. And now it was like the house itself had my attention, like it had been waiting. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept picturing the hidden room, the papers, the book. I kept imagining someone or something watching me, waiting for me to make a move. I told myself it was just paranoia, that this was probably some eccentric owner long ago who liked hiding rooms and leaving cryptic notes. But that warning lingered. Do not trust anyone outside this house. Why would someone write that? And why did I feel like it applied to me? I went back the next day with more courage, or maybe stupidity. I brought a flashlight this time, and I started checking every inch of the walls. That's when I noticed a small symbol carved faintly into the corner near the ceiling, barely visible unless you knew where to look. A circle intersected by 3 lines, almost like a primitive lock symbol. My first thought was, of course, nonsense. But my second thought was, there's more, always more. I started dreaming about it. Weird, vivid dreams where I was in a room, but it was bigger. Endless shelves, ladders reaching up to darkness, hidden doors leading to other rooms. In some dreams, I wasn't alone. Shadows flickered just out of view, whispering things I couldn't understand. I woke up sweating, heart racing, feeling guilty for being afraid, and yet I couldn't stop thinking about it. Then, last Thursday, I made a mistake. I tried to open the small panel I'd noticed near the ceiling. I had to stand on the desk and reach up, fumbling with a tiny latch I hadn't seen at first. When it clicked, I nearly screamed, but it wasn't a trap or a hidden lever. It was a small compartment. Inside, there was a key, heavy brass, ornate, and old. My heart was hammering so hard I thought I might pass out. A key to what? Another room? A safe? Or something worse? I've spent the past 3 days obsessing over that key. I've looked for locks it could open. I've scoured the room, the house, even under floorboards, behind paintings and closets. Nothing. I don't even know if I should use it. Part of me wants to finally uncover the next piece of this puzzle. Another part of me is screaming to leave it alone. And yet, I keep going back. I stand in front of that bookshelf, run my hand along the smooth edge of the door, and feel that same strange pulse of curiosity and fear. Like the house is alive, like it knows me now. And I think it's just getting started. It's strange how quickly fear can turn into obsession. The hidden room isn't just part of my house anymore. It's part of me. Every sound, every shift in the air feels different now. The walls hum when it's quiet, like they're holding a secret I can almost hear if I just listen hard enough. The key hasn't left my desk since I found it. I keep it in this small glass dish, right next to my phone charger. I catch myself staring at it, tracing its strange engravings with my eyes. The spiral at the top, the worn letters that don't form any word I recognize. I even tried Googling similar antique keys, but nothing came close. It's too specific, too deliberate. Last night, I dreamt I was holding it again, but it wasn't metal anymore. It was warm, almost like skin. In the dream, I heard someone whisper, "It opens what you already know." I woke up gasping, clutching my chest, because for a split second I felt it in my hand. But it wasn't there when I turned on the light, just the empty glass dish. I thought I was losing it. I tore apart the sheets, looked on the bed, checked the floor. Nothing. I went back to the living room, heart pounding, half convinced I'd imagined everything, and there it was, sitting on the table, in front of the hidden door, like it had moved itself. I didn't touch it. I just stood there, frozen, staring at it. My brain was trying to explain it logically. Maybe I'd left it there and forgotten, maybe I was sleepwalking, but something about the stillness of the room made those explanations feel stupid. The air felt heavy, like it was waiting for me to act. Eventually I did. I picked up the key and went inside the room again, almost without thinking. The smell was stronger that time, dust, but also something faintly metallic, like old coins. I turned in slow circles, shining my flashlight across the walls, the floor, the ceiling. There had to be a lock somewhere, something that matched this key. That's when I noticed the floor, near the far corner, though it looked slightly newer, like someone had replaced a section. I knelt down and ran my hand along the seams. Sure enough, there was a faint groove, like a trapdoor, only smaller. My pulse kicked up. I tried to pry it open with my fingers, but it didn't budge. Then I saw it, a tiny keyhole-shaped indentation near the edge. I didn't even hesitate. I slid the key in and turned. It clicked with a sound that echoed too loud in the small space. The floor gave a soft groan and lifted, revealing a compartment no bigger than a shoebox. Inside were two things, an envelope and a small, tarnished silver pendant. The envelope had my address on it, my current address, and my name, written in handwriting that looked eerily like mine. I don't even remember opening it. My hands were shaking so hard that I nearly tore the paper in half. Inside was a letter, short, just 2 lines. If you found this, then you're closer than I ever got. Be careful who you tell. The walls remember. I dropped it. I actually dropped it. It felt like my own voice had spoken those words in my head. I wanted to laugh or cry, or both. It made no sense. How could someone know my name? How could that handwriting look so much like mine? I grabbed the pendant. It was cold and oddly heavy. When I turned it over, I realized it opened. It was a locket. Inside was a faded photograph. A man and a woman, both standing in what looked like my living room decades ago. The wallpaper was the same, except older, yellower. The man's face was smudged, but the woman's, she looked familiar. Too familiar. I don't know how long I just stood there, staring at that photo. My heart was hammering so loud that I barely heard the soft creak behind me. A noise. I turned around so fast a flashlight beam jumped across the walls, landing on nothing. Just the open door. But for a moment, just a heartbeat. I thought I saw a shadow move in the hallway beyond. I left the room. I closed the bookshelf door, pressed it shut until it clicked, and I told myself I wasn't going back. Not again. I even tried to convince myself it was all some elaborate trick left by a previous owner. Maybe a writer or recluse with flair for drama. That night, I poured myself 2 glasses of wine and tried to watch a movie. It didn't work. The walls creaked, the house groaned, and I could feel the hidden room waiting. Around 2 a.m., I heard something. Soft. A knock. 3 faint taps. Coming from behind the bookshelf. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Just stared at it. The light from the TV flickering across the spine of my books. The knocking stopped, but then I heard a sound like paper shifting, like someone was flipping through pages. I couldn't take it. I shouted, "Who's there?" and instantly regretted it, because the silence that followed felt aware. Like whatever was inside had just learned my voice. The next morning, everything looked normal. No sign of anything strange. The key was back in its dish. The letter was gone. Just gone. I tore the hidden room apart looking for it. Empty. Even the trapdoor had sealed itself shut, as if it had never been there. I called my friend, Anna, told her I'd found something weird in the house. I didn't give details, just said I found an old room and some papers. She laughed it off, said maybe I discovered a prohibition closet or something. I wanted to tell her everything, but that line from the letter stopped me cold. Be careful who you tell. That evening, I noticed something new. On the hallway wall outside the living room, faint pencil marks, circles with 3 lines through them, the same symbol I'd seen carved into the hidden room's corner. I hadn't seen them before, and the scariest part? The marks weren't old. The pencil was fresh. I haven't slept properly since I saw those marks. I keep pacing the living room, the key clutched in my hand like a talisman. Every creak, every whisper of air through the vents makes me flinch. And yet, I can't stop going back to that room. I feel like it's calling me, like it knows I'm ready to understand something I wasn't meant to yet. Yesterday, I finally did it. I opened the bookshelf door again, stepped inside, and braced myself to the smell, the darkness, the strange pulse of energy. Everything was exactly the same, except the desk. The papers had shifted, not just moved, they had been replaced. New pages, freshly written, in the same handwriting I'd seen before. And at the very top was another envelope. No name this time, just a single word. Read. I hesitated, my stomach in knots. But I opened it. The letter inside was brief. You're not crazy. You're a part of it. Find the door beneath the floor. It will show you the rest. Do not be afraid. But do not tell anyone. I sat there, heart pounding, staring at the trapdoor again. The key felt heavier in my hand. I put it into the indentation, turned it slowly, and the door opened smoothly, as if it had been waiting decades for this exact moment. Inside was a staircase, spiraling down into darkness. The air was cooler here, damp, and smelled of earth. I stepped down cautiously, counting each creak of the stairs. At the bottom, the space opened into a small basement-like chamber. And there, in the middle of the floor, was a wooden box, locked. My hand shook as I put the key into the lock. It fit perfectly. When I lifted the lid, I couldn't breathe for a moment. Inside were objects that made no sense, yet felt familiar. A locket identical to the one I'd found, a stack of photographs, letters, and a journal bound in cracked leather. I flipped through the journal, and my blood ran cold. The entries weren't just old, they were my life, written in the past tense. Names, dates, events that hadn't happened yet. Entries detailing what I had done yesterday, what I would do tomorrow, and even fears I didn't know I had. One entry, dated next week, said, "She will find a hidden room again. The key will lead her down. She will know the truth. Trust only herself." I slammed the journal shut. My hands were shaking, tears prickling my eyes. How could this exist? Who had written it? Was it me? Was it someone who lived here before me? Or had I always known? Then I noticed the walls. Symbols, like the ones I'd seen, carved all over in faint lines. And one in the center, larger than the rest. It was a spiral, intersected by 3 lines, glowing faintly. I couldn't stop staring. My mind felt like it was fracturing, trying to understand something too big to comprehend. And then I heard it. Not behind me, not above me, but inside me. A whisper, a thought, a memory I didn't remember having. You've been chosen. You must continue. I fell to my knees. I wanted to run. I wanted to leave it all behind and pretend I'd never found this room, the key, the journal, but I couldn't. There was something inside me now, something that had been waiting, something that was tied to this house, to this hidden chamber. I've spent the last 12 hours trying to piece it together, researching old owners, cross-referencing dates, try to understand why the room was hidden, why the key existed, why the journal predicted my life. And I think I'm beginning to understand. This house, it's more than a house. It's a guardian, a recorder, a vessel. It has stored memories, secrets, and somehow my own. And the hidden room isn't the end. It's the beginning. The next step is something I can't describe without sounding insane, and yet I know it's true. I'm terrified, excited, confused. Every emotion overlaps and crashes against each other like waves I can't escape. But I can't ignore it. I won't. Not now. I don't know who built the hidden room, or why. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anyone, or if anyone would even believe me. And I'm not sure I want to know what comes next, but I know I have to. So I'm going to descend further. I'm going to explore every hidden corner, every secret, every truth this house has buried. And maybe, just maybe, I'll finally understand why the house chose me, why the key found me, and what it's been waiting to show. All I know is that I can't stop now. Not after everything I found.